So like the name of my mission was called the Czech-Slovak mission.
Okay.
And it was two countries. It was the Czech Republic and Slovakia. Now when I got my mission letter, I was kind of confused because I didn't know much about that part of the world.
Yeah.
And so I thought, because like basically what it said was I was called to serve in the Czech-Slovak mission, and that the actual language I was to learn or supposed to speak out there was Slovak, the language of Slovakia. But what I didn't know at the time was that Slovak, I thought that Slovak was spoken in the Czech Republic. I didn't actually know that Slovakia was a country. That's where I was called to, like primarily, like that was like my actual location.
Yeah.
And so basically what happens is like naturally I got my letter and I was like, oh cool, okay, yeah, like this is interesting, like yeah, okay, I'll go out there, like I've never been there before and that sounds like a great experience.
Hmm.
So when it's time to leave, I left in July. I headed to an area in Provo, Utah, where I basically learned the language for about 9 weeks. I learned like
Wow.
all the fundamentals of Slovak from people who were missionaries there once upon a time.
Yeah.
They're all Americans, but they all spoke Slovak great. And so I learned like the fundamentals of the language. And then I think it was September of 2017, I'm flown out from Salt Lake City to, I go from Salt Lake to Frankfurt, from Frankfurt to Prague, and then I take like a 10-hour train to an area called Nitra, which is a tiny Slovak town. Um, and I'm just in this town for like 4 months or so, for the first 4 months of my time there.
Yeah.
And every couple of months you move to different cities. So I was in a town called Nitra for 4 months, and you're just thrown into the water. Like you're just
Yeah. So
expected to
real
get out
quick,
there and
like
speak to people.
what's your gut reaction? Like you land, you get on this train. What are you thinking? Like, is there any like regret?
Oh
Is there any like surreal
boy.
feeling? And like,
Um, I was experienced culture shock.
yeah.
But like being out there, it's not like anywhere I've ever been before. Like Slovakia is a fairly poor former communist country.
Okay.
And so just like the overall like social culture, like the mindset, like the way it all looks, it's just very backwards and different compared to
Hmm.
where I come from. So I was completely out of my element. I mean, I have never
Yeah.
been that out of my element before. Because I consider myself fairly capable when it comes to traveling, but when I was there and the environment that I was in, it was just very different for me. So yeah, that was definitely a culture shock to say the least. But as I was saying, like you're in these different towns every couple of months, and you'll move depending on wherever like your actual mission president wants you to go to.
Yeah.
And so I was in for the first 4 months. I was in a town called Nitra, which is southwest Slovakia. It's bordering Hungary.
Okay.
I don't know if you're looking at a map, but I mean, you can kind of see where these places are.
Mm.
Then I took a 10-hour bus 4 months later to a town called Košice, which is on the east bordering Ukraine. Then I went all the way back across the country to the capital city of Bratislava, Slovakia. And then I spent 4 months in the Czech Republic in a town called Brno. And that's northeast Czech Republic. That borders Slovakia to the west.